Chapter 11 Force and Energy. What motion is? Motion refers to movement. Our various activities of everyday life need motion or movements of different objects, such as kicking a football, opening a drawer, hitting a ball with a bat, and pushing a cart, etc. The above activities have moving objects, and in order to move them, force is needed. What force is? A force refers to a push or pull applied on an object to make it move. For example, to open a drawer, force of hand is used to push or pull it. Force can be used to perform different activities, such as to move a stationary object, to stop a moving object, to make a moving object move faster, to slow down a moving object, to change shape and size of an object, to change the direction of a moving object. Types of forces. There are different types of forces. For example, gravitational force, frictional force, elastic force, mechanical force, buoyant force. Gravitational force. You often think in your mind, why does the ball you throw in the air always comes down on the earth? Why does a book from the table always fall down on the floor? Why everything falls downwards always? It is due to gravitation. Earth applies a pull to all objects known as gravitational force. We are able to walk and stay on the ground only because of the gravitational force of the earth. Frictional force. It acts against the motion and stops a moving object. You might have noticed when you kick a football, after some time it slows down and stops. It is due to the friction from the ground. Friction also helps us in walking on the ground without slipping. Elastic force. In fact, this force acts when an object is stretched or contracted. For example, a stretched rubber band comes back to its original shape and size after releasing. This is possible due to elastic force. Elastic force arises when an object deforms. Mechanical force. Mechanical force. Here scissors uses this force to cut something, etc. Used by simple machines. For example, a hammer uses mechanical force to beat a nail, while a pair of scissors uses this force to cut something, etc. Buoyant force. The buoyant force applies an upward push to any object on the surface of water, making it float. For example, a plastic ball floating on water. This force acts on all the bodies, even on human beings. It enables us to swim on the surface of water. If a body is heavy enough to counteract the buoyant force, it sinks down. Simple machines. Simple machines are tools which make our work easier and faster. They apply force in such a way so that we get the desired work done by applying force at a point in required direction. They increase the applied force, which makes them very useful tools. Let us know about some simple machines. Wheel and axle. We know that pushing a load on wheels is easier than carrying it. A wheel turns around a rod called an axle. We cannot move a heavy load by pushing. If we use a wheel and axle arrangement, our work becomes effortless. Carts, steering wheels, cycles, roller skates, and sewing machines all find a use of axle and wheel arrangement. Screw. A screw is a simple machine used to hold things tightly together. A screw is always better than a nail because it is spiral in shape and interlocks two surfaces, after which they cannot be separated easily. It is different from a nail as it holds things through the threads into which it divides the force. Screw can also be screw jack, used to lift cars and other heavy vehicles up. Lever. A lever is a special machine with a bar that rests on a fulcrum. To understand lever, let us know what a fulcrum is. Look at this picture of seesaw swing. It shows how a lever functions. A rod is used to lift an object with a stone kept in between. The point against which a lever is placed, on which it turns or is supported, is called fulcrum. The force used is called effort. Seesaw is a perfect example of a lever. When force is applied to one side, it is pushed down. The other side lifts up. Any tool resting on a pivot is called lever. Scissors and staplers use levers. Types of levers. There are 3 types of levers. First class lever, when the fulcrum is between load and effort, for example, pliers and scissors. Second class lever, when the load is between fulcrum and effort, for example, wheelbarrow and bottle opener. Third class lever, when the effort is between the load and the fulcrum, for example, ice tongs and tweezers. Inclined plane. A ramp or inclined plane is a simple machine with a slanted surface. It is useful for people and things move between higher and lower places. It takes a lot of force to lift and move a heavy load. It is easier to push it up a ramp. Pulley. A pulley is a small wheel with a groove around its circumference. It is useful to lift heavy objects when used with a rope. There are 2 types of pulleys. Fixed pulley. It is fixed at one place. A rope is passed over the pulley and by pulling one end of the rope, the weight comes up. This system works for lifting heavy weights. It makes the work done with lesser effort by changing the direction of force. It is commonly used to draw water from wells. Movable pulley. It can move heavy loads very easily. In such pulleys, one end of the rope is fixed. It then suns around the pulley and the other end is free to apply force or attach the load. It does the same work as the fixed pulley does, except it can move the weight as well. Energy. Well, you might have heard about the word energy several times. In fact, the ability to do work is known as energy. There are 2 types of energy sources: natural and man-made. All human beings require energy to do work. Therefore, they need to eat food and other nutritious substances as every day to get an energy. Sunlight, water, wind are examples of natural sources of energy. Different forms of energy. Mechanical energy. It is needed by all the machines to run. It is the energy possessed by an object due to its position or its motion. It has 2 forms, potential and kinetic. Somebody standing on a rooftop has a potential energy due to his or her height. Stretched rubber band has an elastic potential energy due to its stretched position. A moving vehicle has a kinetic energy due to its motion. Solar energy. This kind of energy is available to us free of cost and found in abundance in nature. Sun provides us energy as light and heat, which is absolutely non-polluting source of energy. Your mother always dry your clothes in the sun with the help of solar energy. It is the easiest use of this energy. Today, we see that large solar panels are created to absorb sunlight to provide heat for cooking, boiling water, etc. and also for producing electricity. Geothermal energy. It refers to the heat energy found deep inside the earth. Geo means earth and thermal means heat. Inside the earth's crust, there is a source of heat energy which can be used to generate electricity. It is environmental friendly and renewable source of energy. Wind energy. When wind blows strongly, it carries energy. This energy is called wind energy. It is also a renewable source of energy. When wind blows, it moves the fans of a windmill, which moves a turbine that generates electricity. Wind energy can be utilized at places where it is very windy. Hydropower. Water energy. Water falls down from a height on a turbine, which then moves and generates electricity. The electricity generated by this technique is known as hydropower. The electricity generated in our country is mostly through hydropower. To generate it, the plant must be located on or near a river, sea, ocean, etc. Heat energy. It comes from burning fossil fuels such as coal, wood, petrol, gases, etc. It can be used for several purposes such as cooking food and warming houses, etc. It is a non-renewable energy. Sound energy. Usually, it refers to a disturbance in any medium. Objects vibrate and produce sound which transmits through solid, liquid, and gas. For example, musical instruments and music systems, etc. Electrical energy. Without electrical energy, we cannot imagine our life. Electricity is nothing but electrical moving charges. The energy they produce while moving is called electrical energy. It runs computers, televisions, tube lights, washing machines, fans and air conditioners, etc. smoothly in our houses or offices. Quick recall. A force refers to a pull or push applied on an object to make it move. There are many types of forces. Friction helps us in walking on the ground without falling. Machines use the mechanical force. Screw, wedge, pulley, wheel and axle and inclined plane are the examples of some simple machines. There are 3 types of levers. Energy is the ability to do work. There are different forms of energy. Our life cannot be imagined without the electrical energy.